Imagine a seed so powerful, it kept entire civilizations alive in the deadliest mountains on Earth. A seed that survived centuries of conquest, famine, and neglect while the world forgot it existed. Before quinoa became a superfood or a trendy Instagram bowl, it was the difference between life and death. This tiny, unassuming seed once fed kings, fueled warriors, and defied the harshest climates humans have ever faced. And yet most people today wouldn't recognize it in a pantry. Long before quinoa was sold in glass jars, packaged with fancy nutrition labels, or promoted in wellness magazines, it was survival, not survival in a lifestyle sense, but literal survival. High in the Andes, where oxygen is thin, frost can strike in the middle of the night, and soil is barely fit for cultivation, quinoa thrived when nothing else could. Wheat would fail, barley would falter, corn sometimes managed a crop, but only sporadically, and yet, this modest seed kept communities alive, provided the fuel for farmers and warriors alike, and sustained entire civilizations. Archaeologists have traced quinoa cultivation back at least 3,000 to 5,000 years, with evidence of wild usage possibly even earlier. Long before the Inca Empire rose to its grandeur, before the majestic stone cities, terraces, and roads were built, quinoa was already entrenched in Andean life. Farmers didn't understand biochemistry or protein content. They relied on observation, experimentation, and oral traditions over generations. They learned that quinoa wasn't just resilient, it adapted. Varieties emerged that tolerated frost, drought, saline soils, and high-altitude sunlight. By the time the Inca walked these mountains, quinoa was not just food, it was culture, religion, and survival intertwined. The Inca revered quinoa, sometimes even calling it the mother of all grains, though not in a mystical sense as modern marketing might claim. Their respect came from necessity and understanding. Quinoa provided protein, carbohydrates, minerals, and calories in a way that other Andean crops could not. Soldiers marching for empire relied on it. Children growing in harsh highland villages relied on it. Elders maintaining communities relied on it. It was literally a lifeline. Rituals were often performed during planting or harvest, not for superstition alone, but as an acknowledgement of the delicate balance between humans and the unforgiving mountain environment. Then came colonization. The Spanish conquerors didn't see quinoa the way the Andean people did. They preferred European grains, crops, and livestock. Quinoa fields were abandoned, neglected, or destroyed, and the crop fell into obscurity outside the highlands. For centuries, it survived quietly in pockets, largely ignored by the outside world. This tiny seed, so vital to its original people, became nearly invisible on a global stage. It wasn't until the 20th century that quinoa slowly re-emerged. Scientists, nutritionists, and curious explorers recognized that this ancient crop wasn't just edible, it was exceptional. Quinoa contains all 9 essential amino acids, making it a complete plant-based protein. It's packed with fiber, magnesium, iron, zinc, manganese, and a suite of antioxidants and phytonutrients that researchers now link to reduced inflammation, better blood sugar control, and improved cardiovascular health. Unlike other grains, quinoa's protein quality rivals animal sources, and yet, despite these facts, it wasn't being marketed or consumed widely. Quinoa's rise in the global food scene is a modern miracle, but one that hides centuries of struggle and adaptation. Its resurgence started with researchers studying its remarkable resilience. Quinoa tolerates extreme cold, drought, frost, and high salinity traits most grains can't endure. Farmers in South America had been perfecting its cultivation for thousands of years. Yet the world only caught on when health-conscious consumers began seeking alternatives to wheat, rice, and processed foods. By 2013, the United Nations declared it the International Year of Quinoa, officially recognizing the crop's contribution to food security, sustainability, and nutrition. But what makes quinoa truly exceptional isn't just its resilience or nutritional content, it's its chemistry. Unlike most grains, quinoa contains saponins on its outer coat. Natural compounds that taste bitter and deter pests. These saponins must be rinsed before cooking, a simple step that transforms quinoa from bitter seed to versatile, edible superfood. It also contains phytates and oxalates, compounds that can reduce mineral absorption. Yet traditional Andean preparation techniques, soaking, rinsing, sprouting, and slow cooking neutralized these effects centuries before modern science could explain why. Today, quinoa has been integrated into global cuisine in ways the original cultivators might never have imagined. From breakfast bowls in Los Angeles to vegan protein bars in Berlin, Quinoa's versatility is unmatched. It can be boiled, baked, ground into flour, or sprouted. It can be sweet, savory, hot, or cold, and it carries with it the legacy of the Andes, the story of survival, adaptation, and human ingenuity. Every bite is a bridge between ancient civilizations and modern health-conscious lifestyles. But beyond nutrition and culinary appeal, quinoa offers lessons in resilience. It teaches us that not all survival is glamorous. Sometimes, survival is quiet, patient, and adaptable. Quinoa didn't fight for attention. It didn't demand global markets. It simply persisted, quietly ensuring that humans could endure the harshest environments. That's why modern science is fascinated by it. Studies continue to explore quinoa's bioactive compounds, flavonoids, phenolics, phytoestroids, polysaccharides, and their potential to reduce inflammation, support gut health, and even prevent chronic diseases. This tiny seed is a biochemical powerhouse, packed with compounds that ancient Andeans may have intuitively valued but could never measure. And let's be real, it's more than just a trendy health food. Quinoa challenges assumptions about what's possible in agriculture. It demonstrates that crops can be resilient, sustainable, and nutrient-dense. It reminds us that human innovation through selection, cultivation, and preservation can coexist with nature, even under extreme conditions. The global interest in quinoa today is a testament not just to its nutrition, but to centuries of Andean knowledge, observation, and persistence. Now, here's something worth pausing on. Most of the quinoa you see in grocery stores isn't just grown anywhere. The major production hubs are still Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador, and Chile. The varieties grown today have been selectively bred over thousands of years to maximize yield, nutrition, and adaptability. Quinoa has entered modern science labs, functional food research, and even climate adaptation studies because of its unique properties. Researchers are experimenting with quinoa-based breads, energy bars, and pasta, aiming to preserve its nutrients while creating products suitable for global consumption. Every innovation owes its existence to millennia of indigenous agricultural wisdom. For anyone watching this, thinking about health, diet, or nutrition, quinoa offers more than a macro-friendly option or Instagram-worthy bowl. It's a lesson in sustainability, a blueprint for future food security, and a reminder that the tiniest things can have monumental impact. And the next time you cook quinoa, consider this. You're eating something that survived wars, environmental extremes, neglect, and centuries of obscurity. That's not just food, it's history in every bite. It's a statement that ancient wisdom and modern science can meet on your plate. A statement that what survived for thousands of years in the harshest conditions can survive and thrive in your kitchen. And a statement that the story behind your food matters just as much as the nutrition. If you're curious and motivated, I want you to take one simple step. Pick up quinoa the next time you shop. Try it the traditional way, like the Andean people might have: rinsed, boiled, simple. Notice its texture, its subtle nutty flavor, and imagine the mountains it came from. And then start exploring its versatility: sprouted in salads, baked in bread, blended into energy bars. Every meal becomes an experience, not just a bite. And if one tiny seed could feed civilizations, survive conquest, and rise again to global acclaim, imagine what intentional choices, knowledge, and resilience could do in your life. That's the power of understanding history through food. That's the power of quinoa.